Boom, 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 boom. Now tell me what you gonna do, but it ain't nowhere to run. When judgment comes for you, when judgment comes for you, tell me what you gonna do, when it ain't nowhere to hide. When judgment comes for you, 'cause it's gonna come for you.
Nigga, this for wallet, easy, see something Charlie. Little boo guys got him, and I'm gonna miss everybody out of roll and flow like I ain't looked at a while. And play for dust, and they play too deep for beats. Little legs I got too deep. Tell me your feature deceased, but then please, baby, me by my grand, when you can't go follow
Back
them.
on Wrestling Network, welcome back to the CrosUp, your weekly look back at the week that was in professional wrestling. This week I'll be running through the results and happenings from Raw on June 9th to SmackDown on June 13th. We will start with Raw. We open with a bunch of people coming into the arena. Becky Lynch, as a parent of a small child, Becky Lynch actually came in a Miss Rachel shirt, so I popped pretty hard for that one. So if you have kids, you know who Miss Rachel is. If you don't, then don't worry about it. But I thought that was pretty cool. But a lot of people were showing coming into the arena. We had some Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank recaps to kind of start the show. John Cena then comes out to open it. He insists on his special entrance, how he's the 17-time champion, the greatest of all time. He says that the fans teach him something every time they open their mouths. At Money in the Bank, Cena learned that the truth is a lie. The fans wanted a sideshow comedian whose greatest achievement is pretending to be John Cena. These people are all spineless keyboard warriors and armchair activists with no real power to change anything. Our truth is a gimmick that the fans will spit out in a year and not care about at all. This is his farewell tour, and he has limited time left. He runs down the number of dates he has left, which leaves him at 19 after the one that he's doing here on Raw. If you want to accomplish something, send him competition instead of the class clown, which he's talking about truth again. Every time someone has come to him, he has shut their mouth and beaten his best. And then before he can say anything else, CM Punk comes out. Punk asks if Cena is comfortable because he has a lot to say. He's comfortable with having this conversation with his fists, but one way or another, he'll get through this. Punk thinks it's ironic that Cena wants to ruin wrestling, and Punk is the one defending the establishment. That's not what he's doing because he isn't standing for TKO or defending the billionaires. Instead, he's here to defend the people. Is Cena mad because he was picked by the establishment but not the people? Cena has said that he hasn't had real competition, but he's stolen the title from the best that WWE has. Punk is here because the people are his boss, and if they want the truth, they're going to get Ron Killings. They are all just spokes on a wheel, and it's time for that Cena learn that too. That starts by Punk taking the title off Cena's shoulders at Night of Champions, and he asked, "Remember when they were locked up at Elimination Chamber? Punk felt it then, just like when Seth Rollins gave him a stomp. Cena said, 'I'm sorry,' because he knows what he's doing is wrong when he put him in the STF to finish the match. That title is corrupting him, and even though Punk didn't want to get it when we came here, now though Punk is going to become the monster to stop the monster. Punk counts 18 dates left after tonight, and he'll let Cena pick the date he takes the title from him. If Cena is more Boston Red Sox than New York Yankees, he'll do it tonight." Cena says Punk is on, but not Punk is on for the challenge, but not here, because Punk is going to have to follow him to Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions. And it's Punk seems in, but Seth Rollins comes out and shows both men that he has the Money in the Bank briefcase. So pretty good opening promo by both guys, but definitely look forward to that match. Punk has been very vocal about not wanting to go to Saudi Arabia and how he thinks it's wrong that WWE does so just for the money and all that. But obviously, I guess he's part of the machine now, so he doesn't feel so opposed to it or whatever. But I mean, either one way or another, but he's going to go to Saudi Arabia and he's going to fight John Cena. So, but we get our first match from there. AJ Styles defeats Chad Gable via pinfall following the Styles Clash. We then get Roxanne Perez in the back coming up to Liv Morgan to pitch an alliance to help one of the women's titles for Judgment Day, as they're both in a King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring qualifier, I should say, later on. Morgan doesn't seem interested and kind of blows her off. She shouldn't have done that because Roxanne Perez advances in the Queen of the Ring tournament, defeating Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Kairi Sane when Sane hit the insane elbow on Liv, and then Roxy throws her out of the ring and steals the pin on Liv. And obviously this moves Roxy onto the semifinals for Queen of the Ring. Because they're doing four in Queen and King of the Ring. They're doing four ways, and then it leads to 2 semifinal matches, and then obviously the finals will be at Night of Champions. So we then get another video about Worlds Collide, kind of what happened and all that good stuff. We then get video on Nikki Bella, who is making her return tonight. She comes to the back, introduces herself to a lot of the lady wrestlers backstage, and then she exchanges some respect with Kairi Sane and Io Sky. Even Io Sky says something about how Nikki paved the way for them. So that was something. Becky Lynch then comes out to the ring. She says she isn't sure where her "You Deserve It" chants are, and lists off her various accomplishments. Lynch has raised the status of the Intercontinental title just by winning it. On Saturday, Lyra Valkyria injured Lynch's shoulder, and Lynch was just trying to finish their issues. Asked Valkyria to put the title around her waist. Then that crazy bird lady tried to kill her, is what she says. That's the quote that she says. Lynch then wants Valkyria out here to raise her hand properly, and then Lyra comes out, and then Becky says that she has that crazy look in her eye again. Before Lyra can actually get to the ring, Bayley returns and jumps Becky from behind, as Becky had taken out Bayley at WrestleMania so she could team with Lyra. And then obviously Becky Lynch bails to the back. We then have the commentary duo. I believe it was Wade and Michael Cole tonight. I don't know where Pat was, but they're arguing about what they just saw. But R-Truth then comes out and climbs onto the announce table. Killing says, "Don't let anyone ever tell you that you don't matter. They heard and they understood, so he is back because of these people. He's back, and while the people love R-Truth, he can't be funny all of the time, or too forgiving all of the time. But not him. He can't do that anymore. He's not a sideshow or a gimmick." And then he grabs a pair of scissors and cuts all of his hair off. He has the long dreads and stuff like that. So he cuts all of his hair off, basically just leaving basically what would equate to a shaved head. The Truth has set him free, and he is Ron the Truth Killings once again. So put some respect on his name, and then he walks away through the crowd. We then go back to the Judgment Day clubhouse. Finn Balor isn't sure why Dominic Mysterio is getting a King of the Ring tournament match and not him. Mysterio makes sure Balor is cool with it, with JD McDonough saying he and Balor are going to go for the tag titles instead. Roxanne Perez then comes in to celebrate her own Queen of the Ring tournament win, but Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez come in, and they are not too pleased that she is there, but Balor approves. We then get video of the celebrity from the Worlds Collide show, Mr. Iguana. They tell us about him and his career in AAA. We then get Seth Rollins giving Braun Breaker a pep talk before his King of the Ring tournament match. It didn't work because he loses as Sami Zayn advances, defeating Braun, Penta, and Dominic Mysterio when he hits the Helluva Kick on Dom. Like I said, this moves Sami on to the semifinals of the King of the Ring tournament. AJ Styles is then in the back. He says he isn't happy with Seth Rollins sending Paul Heyman to threaten him last week. If you threaten Styles, he'll hit you in the mouth, and he'll go tell Rollins that to his face. We then get the New Day in the back. They are not happy with being asked who is next for their tag team titles. Instead, you should be thanking God for them being the champions. We then get video on Asuka, who's going to make her return after almost a year away in the Queen of the Ring tournament. This was kind of spoiled earlier in the night when they showed us the brackets for the tournament, as her name was already on there before they had kind of really done this video and announced that she's coming back. So maybe a goof up. Maybe they did it on purpose, but cool to see Asuka back. We'll see if she can stay healthy this time and put out some good stuff. Um, we then get Nikki Bella. She comes to the ring. She thanks us for having her back. She gets to the point, which is Evolution 2, that is taking place in July. She talks about the various women who will be around for the show and all of the talent that we already have here that's here every week. Liv Morgan then comes out because she didn't mention her name. She isn't happy with that, and goes off about all of her accomplishments. Liv then knows that Nikki is scared of her because Liv would have beaten Nikki if she was still around. Liv then brings up that at least she has a man, unlike Nikki, who just went through a very public and pricey divorce. So that was a pretty bad little dig there. Nikki kind of laughs at this, and then she asks who Morgan's man belongs to, obviously implying that Roxanne is trying to swoop in on him at this point. And then Nikki goes to leave, but comes back when Liv calls her a reality diva, and then Liv actually hits the Oblivion and leaves Nikki laying for the end of the segment. We then get made official that John Cena and CM Punk will face at Night of Champions, and then we get our World Heavyweight title match where Jey Uso defended against Gunther, and Gunther actually wins back the World Heavyweight title via technical submission when Jey passes out in the sleeper, and then Gunther puts the belt around his waist and celebrates to end the show. So as good as Jay's reign was, I felt like he had a few good defenses and had some good matches in there. It seemed right to kind of give Gunther the title win here. Honestly, I thought if the title was going to change tonight, I figured it would change either way. But I honestly felt like if there was going to be a title change, it was going to be a Rollins cash in. I figured they would go ahead and kind of go with that. Because I have a feeling I kind of know who maybe wins King of the Ring, just based on results that I'll continue to talk about throughout the rest of this. But yeah, I was kind of thinking that maybe a certain person would win King of the Ring and face Rollins at SummerSlam, but apparently we're not going that way. But Gunther being champion again is good with me, and it also could work with who I think is going to win King of the Ring. So we'll get there when we get there and see what it comes out to, though. But as far as match of the night, I would go with the King of the Ring 4-way with that Sammy won. Just a really good 4 guys to kind of put in there together. The Queen of the Ring match was also very good, and the World Heavyweight title match was good as well. But I think Jay's only capable of probably so high of a rating or whatever. But I think the King of the Ring 4-way kind of got a little bit more excitable out of me for tonight. So that would be my best match. We will go to NXT from there. We open with Jasper Troy attacking Obafemi in the parking lot, and he choke slams him through the windshield of a car. We then open with a North American title match where Ethan Page defends his title successfully against Sean Legacy of Evolve. He wins via pinfall when Legacy missed a 450 attempt, and then Page hits the Twisted Grin. After the match, Ricky Saints runs in and beats up Page, sending Page running off to the back. We then get JC Jane. She asks Ava about her next challenger, but Lainey Reed comes in and slaps the shit out of her. They then kind of she kind of snipes back at Lainey, so Lainey slaps her again. And then she kind of leaves, and then JC offers to give her a title match because she wants to beat her ass for slapping her twice. We then go to earlier today in the back, and Lash Legend got into an argument in the women's locker room and seems to have a match set up for her later on. Sean Spears, we could then go to the Cullings little circle with all the smoke and the darkness and all that kind of stuff. Sean Spears says he trusts Izzy Dame, but asks why she hit Brooks Jensen with a chair. Izzy says that it was due to Jensen hinting at wanting a different family. He had to go with the rest of the team understanding, and now she has her eyes on someone new to take his place, but she doesn't say exactly who. We then get the calling of Sean Spears and Nico Vance defeating Yoshiki Inamura and Josh Briggs when Vance hit a Dominator on Josh. We then get Ava yelling at Ricky Saints, whose neck is still messed up. and he's not medically cleared. And apparently his neck was so messed up that he couldn't talk because he did not speak in this backstage segment. But Ava is mad that he showed up without being cleared. We didn't see Obafemi. He is banged up, and his NXT title match later on is in jeopardy as he's kind of being worked on in the trainer's room. We didn't get Andre Chase. He yells at Dixon and Connors for getting beaten up again and not following his instructions. They are they both say they're all the way in for listening to what Mr. Chase has to say for them, and he and then Mr. Chase says it's time to go back to class. So he'll give them the lesson that he thinks they need. We then recap Mariah May's debut last week, and we join her in the bath, actually. She's in a bubble bath, just hanging out. There's a voice kind of dubbing over over this little vignette. It says, "She's beauty, she's grace, and she'll probably punch you in the face. She's the glamour, and now her new name is going to be Blake Monroe." Monroe, obviously based off of Marilyn Monroe, and I believe I read that Mariah, or Blake, whatever you want to say, Blake is her niece's name, so she kind of wanted to pay tribute to her niece, so she went with Blake Monroe, which is a cool name. It definitely could have been way worse. I kind of joked with some buddies that I could have just seen like them doing like a The Rock kind of situation and just calling her the Glamour, because they didn't want to really change her name, but they because that's obviously been her nickname in AEW and all that kind of stuff. So I could have seen him doing something like that. But Blake Monroe certainly isn't bad. And like I said, could have been worse. They've come up with worse names. So we then get another match where Lash Legend defeats Ren Sinclair via pinfall. She hits a behind the back faceplant. We then get a profile piece on Laney Reed. She is a Southerner and a former track athlete. Tonight, she is going to show the world that JC Jane is the most beatable champion in NXT history. We then get shown Jasper Troy. He said he didn't waste any time with his title shot because he knows Obafemi will be out there no matter what. He says they know he'll come no matter how injured he possibly is. So Jasper's ready for him. We then get JC Jane defeating Laney Reed via pinfall following her rolling forearm. After the match, Ava pops up on the platform and announces a mini tournament for the number one contendership. With the title shot taking place at Evolution, and JC Jane seems nervous. So I'm going to try and get this right. There's going to be 4 singles matches, and the winner of those 4 singles matches will face each other in a fatal 4-way the following week, and that person will face JC Jane at Evolution. So I think I got that right. I'm not 100% sure, but it was very confusing in how she announced it, but I'm pretty sure that's how that worked out. So, we then go to the back, and Josh Briggs is disappointed with another tag team loss. But TNA's First Class comes in to mock them. Inamura says AJ Francis is annoying. And then Elijah actually comes in from TNA to blame First Class for the TNA World title not being in TNA, screwing both Santana and Elijah last week. We then go to Tony D'Angelo and Luca Crucifino. They don't seem to trust each other before they had their tag team match later on. We then get Charlie Dempsey. He wishes Miles Bourne luck in his future. Bourne thanks him for everything that the No Quarter Catch crew did for him. Javon Evans then comes in to say that was a tough loss for Charlie last week. And then Charlie decides he wants to face Evans to kind of get revenge for him insulting him like that. We then get another video of Worlds Collide. We see that Mystery Iguana and El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. are in the crowd. We then get High Rise of Igwe and DuPont defeating Tony D and Luca Crucifino when they hit the Heartstopper on Tony D. We then get Trick Williams. He does not like the implication that he needed First Class's help to beat Elijah or Santana, and agrees to team with them against Elijah, Briggs, and Inamura next week. And we get our main event where Obafemi defeats Jasper Troy via pinfall following a second fall from Grace powerbomb. That was a really good match, considering Jasper Troy just won LFG, that he's already getting a title shot, and he brought his A game, and him and Obafemi had a really good match. I would give that match of the night for sure. It was very good, and I would love to see them go at it again. 2 big hosses. bumping meat, as old Big E would say. But it was a very good match, considering that Jasper is as young to the game as he is. So, Femi as well, actually. But yeah, they're both hosses, and I think they're going to have a good future. But we'll go from there to Dynamite. We open with Christopher Daniels running into Hangman Page backstage. Says that he can't fight the Death Riders on his own. Daniels says he has some friends who can help Page if he'll make some amends. And Page seemingly seems to think about it. And then he kind of walks away, and the Death Riders seem to follow behind him, wanting to attack him from behind. We then open with Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. It goes to a time limit draw, of course. Two big stars like this don't face off on TV if there's going to be a result. So time limit draw was inevitable. But it was very good. Ends up being match of the week. I'll go ahead and spoil that. But it was very good, but kind of disappointing with the draw. And I think it honestly could have had another gear to it when in the grand scheme of things. I mean, but after the match, Strickland says he's in so much pain, but he wants to finish the match. He asks for sudden death, but the Death Riders come out instead. Ospreay's kind of convalescing on the ground, so he wasn't able to answer Swerve's challenge before they came out. They surround the ring, but here are the Young Bucks, and they actually jump Swerve from behind first. The Bucks then handcuff Strickland to the ropes and start firing off super kick after super kick. They then load up the thumbtack shoe that they used in the Anarchy in the Arena match, or that Swerve ended up using in the Anarchy in the Arena match. But I believe Matt loaded up the thumbtack shoe. They might have both had one, honestly, but I remember Matt having it for sure. But before they can super kick Swerve with it, Ospreay runs in and takes the bullet for Swerve. And then the Bucks kind of bail after this because they can't believe what they just did. We then get Okada backstage, but he is quickly cut off by Don Callis, who thinks some of his guys should be facing Kenny Omega instead of him. The family then comes in, and Okada calls Callis a bitch before we kind of go away. MVP then shows up with shows us the Hurt Syndicate attacking Commander and taking his mask. This was used to kind of write off Commander. He has some kind of injury that I can't remember what was, but Commander's going to be written off for a little bit. So they took him out, took his mask. So I'm sure he'll come back ready to take his mask back and get some revenge on the Hurt Syndicate. We then get Mystico returning after a few weeks of some hype packages. He defeats Blake Christian via pinfall following a Spanish fly. After the match, the Hurt Syndicate comes out, and MJF says he'll face Mystico. For one night only, MJF is dusting off the red, white, and blue because he is patriot. He is a patriot. There's a big American flag that pops up behind the ring, but instead of stars, they have MJF's face on them, and streamers for red, white, and blue streamers fall. But Mystico says he'll see him next week in Arena Mexico, as they have a big Dynamite show there. Mystico then says something in Spanish, and MJF calls him Sloppy Sin Cara. And then they have a little brawl, so the Hurt Syndicate come in and kind of team up on Mystico before the team of Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight come in. They are now referred to as Jet Speed. That's their new name. And then Mascara Dorado also comes in, and they kind of run the Hurt Syndicate off before we have a match with all of those men. We have the Hurt Syndicate defeating Jet Speed and Mascara Dorado when MVP gets a cane shot in on Speedball, and MJF hits a lifting hammerlock DDT. And then after the match, the Syndicate beat them down again with MJF taking Dorado's mask. And then Mystico comes in and locks MJF in his submission move called La Mystica. And MJF, of course, taps very, very, very quickly. We then get Hangman Page. He comes up to the ring to talk, but the Death Riders jump him while he's making his entrance. They beat him down and tape up his mouth before they take him to the ring. Jon Moxley apologizes for this in advance, but wants a real conversation. This is Page's time, and All In is everything for him. Moxley doesn't like the Millennial Cowboy, and Page has been searching for something for a long time. In 4 weeks, Page needs to step up and become what he is supposed to be, or he can get out now. Page then lunges at him, and gets beaten down. But the ops show up, obviously Samoa Joe, Shibata, and Hobbs. They run in for the save. And then Page says he has come too far to just fall and swears vengeance tonight. We then get Tay Mello, who just returned last week, teaming with Anna Jay. They defeat Megan Bain and Penelope Ford when Tay hits the Tay KO on Penelope. We then take a long look at the Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada rivalry, focusing on their time in Japan and all their great matches that they have. Tony Schiavone is then in the ring for a contract signing between the two champions. They both present their championships, and we have a new unified title as they will face each other, Continental title and International title, seeming to combine them into a unified championship. So they show us the new belt. It was a pretty cool belt. I wasn't just a huge fan of it, but it'll serve its purpose, I guess. I don't know if this means the Continental Classic will die because the Continental Championship doesn't exist anymore, or I don't know. Pretty cool belt in the grand scheme of things. Okada signs with no issues, but Omega has something to say. Omega talks about how it has been almost 7 years since their last match, and he barely recognizes himself in that video package. He wants them to both leave it all in the ring, at All In, and signs the contract. They shake hands and say some things, obviously, to each other that we can't hear because they don't say it to the microphone. Don Callis then comes out. He wants one of his guys in the match, but Omega says he's beaten the family, and if they want a title shot, get to the back of the line. This is going to be Omega versus Okada. And then just as he says that, Okada hits Omega with the belt because apparently now he's part of Don Callis' family, or he is somewhat sided with them in some way. But Okada then hits him in the ribs with like a pole or some kind of pipe that he hits him with. And Omega goes to do a stretcher job at the end of the show. Like I said, Ospreay Swerve's the best match of the week, so it's definitely the best match of the show. To pick up where we left off on Dynamite, we go to Collision, and Kenny Omega is being loaded on the stretcher, but Okada, apparently now a member of the Don Callis family, or so we are made to assume with him attacking Omega here, gives him a top rope elbow. Then Okada drops another elbow off the apron to make Omega spit up blood. And then Callis and Okada then run and jump into a waiting car. I said he spit up blood. He spit up like what seemed to be a whole chunk of his lung. They were obviously targeting his diverticulitis scar and all of his, just the area where that would have really affected him. But he was like hurling up blood. It was really gross, but and kind of comical to a degree. But yeah, very very over the top spitting up of blood because I guess he popped the capsule or whatever and then spit the whole capsule out of his mouth to make it look like he was like spitting up organs and stuff. It was very strange and kind of funny. But then we get Kyle Fletcher defeating Anthony Bowens via pinfall following a brainbuster. We then get video of MJF being the amazing American he is before his match in Mexico City next week against Mystico. We then get Spanish announcer Carlos Cabrera of WWE fame, now of AEW Spanish announce team. He brings out Atlantis and Atlantis Jr. for a chat, but FTR cuts them off. Stokely Hathaway runs down the two of them, plus everyone that has come after FTR. They are ready to wrestle in Arena Mexico, but don't have a match yet. Dax Harwood makes fun of Atlantis for being old, and then they have a brawl with a bunch of people running in. Atlantis eventually rips Harwood's shirt off and chases them away, so FTR kind of ends up running away and bailing. We then get Big Bill and Brian Keith. They want fresh competition, so the Workhorsemen come in and they take them up on a challenge. I guess that'll happen next week because they don't end up facing each other tonight. We then get Toni Storm defeating Julia Hart. Julia Hart misses she wins via pinfall when Hart misses a moonsault attempt, and Storm kind of catches her off of that in a small package. And then after the match, Mercedes Moné gets in the ring, whispers something in Storm's ear before beating her down. Mina Shirakawa then makes the save, but gets taken down, so Moné can hold up the title. She actually had the steak again this week, and it was actually cooked properly. So we didn't have like the tree bark that she was eating the previous week. So, but Mina comes in and tries to save Tony, but Monet ends up taking her down and holding up the title. So Mercedes actually ends up on top this week. We then get Ricochet. Ricochet. He is still looking for the perfect team. Blake Christian and Lee Johnson then come in to offer their services, but Ricochet doesn't seem overly impressed with the both of them and says they are missing something that he's looking for. We then get Mark Briscoe, Tomohiro Ishii, and Willow Nightingale defeating the MXM Collection and Taya Valkyrie when Willow hits the Babe with the powerbomb on Taya. We then go back to Chris Statlander, who's cutting a promo. She says she's done with Willow again, apparently. But Wheeler Yuta, of all people, comes in and offers her advice, and Statlander doesn't seem interested. But Marina Shafir comes in, and they have a little bit of a stare down. So obviously implying that they'll have a match somewhere down the road. We then get Bandito defeating the Beast Mortos via pinfall following a moonsault follow-away slam. We then get Mercedes Moné saying she wants the CMLL Women's World Title. So champion Zeuxis comes in to accept, and then she leaves Mercedes laying in the process as she decks her with her right hand. We then get Hangman Page. He is interrupted by the Young Bucks as he's going to check on Ospreay and Swerve in the the trainer's room. The Bucks then suggest that they were all in on this as a big plan. Page wants nothing to do with the Bucks and tells them to stay out of everyone's business, including Ospreay and Swerve. We then get shown Prince Nana listening at the door, and him and Swerve had overheard everything that just happened, with Hangman basically saying he's got Swerve's back without saying he has Swerve's back. We then get Tekla. She defeats Queen Aminata via submission with the Death Trap. We then go back to Nick Wayne. He receives a present from Christian Cage. It's a highlight package of his run in the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. And then Kip Sabian says he doesn't know where he would be without Christian Cage. And then he also tells Nick Wayne that he doesn't know where Nick Wayne would be without Christian Cage as well, which confuses poor Nick Wayne to no end. And then we get our main event where the Don Callis family, represented by Josh Alexander, Konosuke Takeshita, Lance Archer, and Jacero, they defeat the Paragon, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong, as well as Daniel Garcia, when Alexander hits a German suplex off a clothesline from Takeshita on Roddy Strong to get the win. And that was the match of the night. Maybe not the strongest collision match-wise, a lot of promos and stuff like that, but that they usually do those 8-man tags and those kind of matches pretty well. So that would be my match of the night for them. We're going to go from there to Impact. We get an Against All Odds recap. We get a shot of earlier today where Santino wouldn't let Mike Santana into the building, so he is suspended for 2 weeks. Morella then also had security throw Robert Stone out of the building, who had tried to sneak in, despite the fact that he lost his privilege of being in TNA at Against All Odds. Santino then comes to the ring and gets things going. He's happy to be done with Robert Stone, but he has business to cover. First up, Moose will officially be defending the X Division title against Leon Slater at Slammiversary. Second, next week, it's Champions Challenge, with the champions teaming up against each other, or with each other against an all-star team. As for tonight, it's an 8-4-1 match with 8 knockouts being in a 4-on-4 tag. Then the winning team will be put into a fatal 4-way, and the winner of that will get a knockouts title shot. So that'll happen later tonight. We then get the inspiration of Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay, who had returned it Against All Odds. They defeat Missa Kate and Brittany Brooks when Cassie hits the Idolizer on Missa Kate for the win. We then get the Hardys. They're ready to get back to the tag team titles, and that starts tonight by beating First Class. We then look at First Class appearing on NXT, setting up a 6-man with them and Trick versus Elijah, Josh Briggs, and Enamora. It's time for the First Class Penthouse, though, and it's looking like a First Class Summer. AJ Francis is looking to give away some money and has a kid come on stage to do his best money impression. And that's good. And the kid comes up, and that's not good enough for Francis, who tells the kid to get lost. Therefore, it's time to bring out their guest, Trick Williams. He likes First Class, with Francis thinking They need their own gold to kind of match Tricks. And it says once they beat the Hardys tonight, they will go after the Nemeths and the tag team title shot. It would make more sense for me for them to go after the NXT tag titles, because obviously Tricks from NXT has the TNA world title. It would make more sense if they're going to kind of do the crossover thing for them to go for Hank and Tank, because them going after the Nemeths is pretty dumb because they're both heels, and I don't think that would work all that well. We then get the System in the back. They come up to Jason Hotch. He says they say if Hotch takes out Leon Slater tonight, there might be a spot for him in the System. Order 4 then comes in, and Mustafa Ali isn't all that impressed. The System then kind of walk away, and they run into Matt Cardona, telling him to find a partner for a tag team match next week. Obviously, Brian Myers being in the System is Matt Cardona's best buddy in real life, so they had a few snipes back and forth at each other. Hotch does not successfully take out Leon Slater, as Leon Slater defeats him via pinfall with a Swanton 450 in what was a very good match. But I guess he didn't impress the System too much because he lost. We then get Tessa Blanchard. She doesn't care what kind of match she's in, because at the end, the result is her winning, and she does not like, she tells Gia Miller that she does not like her very much in her questions that she asked her. We then get that 8-4-1 match. We start with the 8-woman tag. Jody Threat, Indy Hartwell, Tasha Steelz, and Killer Kelly defeat Rosemary, Danny Luna, Tessa Blanchard, and Zaya Brookside when Indy Hartwell hit the Hertz Donut on Rosemary. Killer Kelly then wins the 4-way, defeating Indy, Tasha, and Jody when she steals the pin from Indy, who had hit the Hertz Donut on Tasha. But obviously she throws Indy out of the ring, and Killer Kelly gets the pinfall. And we'll get the title shot against Masha Slamovich at another time. They don't specifically say Slammiversary or next week or whatever, but she'll get a shot at some point. Masha then is talked to in the back. She says she's ready for Killer Kelly, but because this is where it would always go. And she'll put Killer Kelly back in her place. They used to be tag team champions and partners together, so they know each other better than the back of their own hands. We then look at Steve Maclin retaining his international title against Mance Warner and Against All Odds. Maclin praises Warner for hitting him hard, but now it's on to the Champions Challenge. He's ready to take out Trick Williams, but if anyone wants to come at him, they need to know what they're doing ahead of time. Mance Warner and Steph DeLander then cut a promo. She claims that Warner was cheated. Warner has to be held back from attacking a production assistant and ends up taking his aggression out on Tommy Dreamer, who was just floating around in the back. We then get Sami Callihan. He isn't happy that an outsider won the TNA World title and continues to have it. So Eric Young and the Northern Armory come in. They aren't happy about it either, and they tease an alliance between Young and Callihan. But instead, Young ends up decking him to end the promo. And then we get our main event where the Hardy Boys defeat First Class, but it's by DQ when they pretty much have AJ Francis beat, but Trick Williams comes out to interfere. After the match, a beatdown is on, but Joe Hendry and Elijah come in to make the save. The System and Leon Slater then both come out, and the faces pretty much clear the ring of the heels, and then Slater does a crazy running somersault dive over the ring post and leaves a pile of heels on the floor. Earlier, like I said, Slater and Hotch was the match of the night for me. The two women's matches weren't all that bad either, but I would definitely give the leg up to the X Division match between Slater and Hotch, because Hotch is a pretty good, young, impressive guy, and Slater, I would say the same about him. So looking forward to Slater and Moose at Slammiversary, because I think that could be a really good banger. We'll then go to SmackDown to wrap up the week. We open with a long recap of Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank once again. John Cena, just like Raw, gets things going. He gets a special introduction as always. Cena says that the Mount Rushmore of wrestling is just 4 of him, because no one else has ever been him or as good as him. He is smarter than everyone. He is always 1,000 steps ahead of each and every one of us. Last year, he announced his retirement a year in advance so he could have 6 months to scout his biggest opponent. Uh, yeah. Um, Now he has Punk coming up at Night of Champions, but he'll become a hypocrite just to get his shot. Seth Rollins won't cash in on him because he wants Cena to take the title away, so Rollins can become the one champion. Uh, Cena has solved everything because he is smarter than everyone, and it will take you years to understand it. No one is capable of hanging with him, but then Cody Rhodes comes out to interrupt. Rhodes calls Cena a genius and agrees that Cena's plans have gone right the entire time so far. Cena has this 25-year master plan, but there is one detail he overlooked. Rhodes pinned him at Money in the Bank. Rhodes isn't part of Cena's plans because Cena is part of his. Randy Orton then comes out to say that he had Cena beaten at Backlash until someone saved him. Orton is ready to win King of the Ring to get another shot at Cena at SummerSlam. He'll go through Rhodes to get there. LA Knight then comes out to interrupt, who knows that no one in the ring wants him to be walking down there. Knight is the sore thumb against the WWE establishment, and that's how he likes it. King of the Ring is here, and if he wants to drop any of them to be WWE champion, so be it. Cena then goes to leave, but R-Truth comes through the entranceway and attacks him from behind. He said Cena goes through the year explaining every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And yeah, just a really good segment. Cena gets left laying by R-Truth there. And a couple of challengers are kind of presented as options there. So, but this all leads to Randy Orton winning a King of the Ring match against LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Aleister Black when Orton RKO's Mello as Frog splashing LA Knight. So then he pins LA Knight to advance. So that means Randy's in the King of the Ring semis. Jacob Fatu then warns us that he is coming. And then Jacob Fatu comes to the ring, and the fans are happy to see him as he's recently kind of turned face on Solo Sikoa. Just because you were family doesn't mean you can go around behind someone's back and take credit for their success, which is what Solo Sikoa has done to him. That's why he took Sikoa out at Money in the Bank, and he is on his own now. Sikoa then pops up on the Titantron clapping, says he brought Fatu here a year ago because Fatu was doing nothing. He gave Fatu a chance, and next week he'll give him another one. Fatu can apologize and say he loves Solo because Solo can have him taken out just like that. We then get the Secret Service come in to see Nick Aldis. Chelsea Green is on the phone as she is not there, saying that she needs to have her Queen of the Ring match in another city other than Lexington because she can't be seen dead there. Aldis isn't doing that and puts Alba Fire in her qualifier instead. The Secret Service then leave, and Zelina Vega comes in and says she wants Julia in a match. Aldis says that can't happen this week, but she can face Julia next week. And then Aldis kind of through all of this is just getting talked over completely. But he does give Zelina Julia next week. We then get a Queen of the Ring match where Jade Cargill defeats Nia Jax, Michin, and Piper Niven when she hits Jaded on Piper. This obviously advances Jade to the semifinals, and I believe this matches her up with Roxy. So Roxanne Perez and Jade Cargill will be in the semifinals. I don't know if they really announced when or where these semifinal matches are going to happen, but I think some of them are going to happen on SmackDown, some of them are going to happen on Raw. So we'll see what happens when those take place. So, and I didn't mention earlier, but Randy is facing Sammy in the semifinals. We then get a Miss Money in the Bank promo from Naomi. She says people here are looking real shocked and real stupid because she took what she deserved. The entire time when she was trying to take the title from Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton was there to stop her with her briefcase at the time. Too nice Naomi allowed it to happen, and then Tiffany comes in to interrupt. Stratton says, just cash in right now and take the title if she's so confident. Naomi is all talk and no action, and that's why she couldn't beat Jax. That doesn't work for Naomi, who wants to surprise Stratton and make her life a living hell. Uh, she then says, proceed with caution. Naomi then leaves, and here's Nia Jax to jump Tiffany from behind and hit the Annihilator. Naomi then teases coming back to cash in, but Jax kind of glares at her, and Naomi leaves, thinking better of the situation. We then get a promo earlier today where Nick Aldis has pretty much the entire tag team division in his office again. All of them want the Wyatt Six, but the Motor City Machine Guns say they want them tonight, and they get the nod to face him this week. And then the Wyatt Six, represented by Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis, defeat the Motor City Machine Guns when Lumis hits a guillotine leg drop on Sabin. This was a rough match. Lumis and Gacy did not seem like they were on the same page a lot of the times. I think they actually even hit a tag team finisher that was supposed to be the end of the match, but they botched it so badly that Lumis had to do the guillotine leg drop. But a rough showing for the Wyatt Six, who have been off for a while, and this was kind of their first show in the limelight. So we then get John Cena. He goes up to Jimmy Uso in the back, and he's looking for R-Truth. Uso hasn't seen him, but Cena wants R-Truth to meet him in the ring. We then get Cena pissed off coming to the ring. He says he can tolerate a level of disrespect, but R-Truth has crossed the line. Cena calls R-Truth out for a fight, but he gets CM Punk instead. Punk says he has a mic and wants Cena to turn around and let the fans celebrate him like they want to. Cena asks why. He wants to know why he should waste his time in front of a bunch of people who don't matter. These people don't matter. This place doesn't matter. Basketball doesn't matter. Horse racing doesn't matter. Really going in on Kentucky here. The title is all that matters. Punk gets serious and says there is one reality. Cena cannot beat him. When Punk was at his best, Cena could not beat him. It is Punk's belief in himself that brought him here, and he is not dressed like a toddler who just struck out at T-ball, making fun of Cena's shirts and stuff like that. Punk wants that one back because it sounds like PG John Cena insulting someone, and he says, but instead I'm going to take the title and walk out. Sounds a lot like Punk, something Punk would say back then. It is ironic that Cena is stealing Punk's material because Cena couldn't stop him. Punk will meet him in Saudi Arabia, and he will sacrifice a goat to the gods of wrestling. And then the reality is Punk can see through him, and that's the truth. And then obviously R-Truth comes out and jumps Cena from behind and ends up putting him in his own FCF hold. We then get Alexa Bliss. She is looking ready to move forward in the Queen of the Ring tournament, but Charlotte, of course, comes in and says there can only be one queen, and that is her. R-Truth then gets talking to from Nick Aldis, and then Truth requests a match with John Cena next week on SmackDown and receives it, so he will be facing him next week. We then get Alexa Bliss defeating Candice LeRae, Charlotte Flair, and Alba Fire when she hits the Sister Abigail DDT on Candice, while Charlotte has Alba locked in the figure 8, but the 3 count comes before the tap, so Alexa moves on. We then get Cody Rhodes running into CM Punk before his King of the Ring tournament match, and they say they can't keep avoiding each other, obviously implying that they'll face off eventually. And then in the main event, in the King of the Ring Fatal 4-Way, Cody Rhodes defeats Damian Priest, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Andrade when he hits the Crossroads on Nakamura. And this advances him to the semifinals of the King of the Ring tournament. I believe the other two, the final 2 Fatal 4-Ways in both tournaments are on Monday, and then I want to say all of the semifinals are on SmackDown next week. So I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. But as far as best match of the night, I thought both King of the Ring matches were really, really good, but I would give the nod to the first one that Randy Orton won. So I would give it to that, Orton, Knight, Hayes, and Aleister Black. So that was what I would go with for match of the night on SmackDown. But like I said, both were great. But as far as matches of the week, I already talked about Swerve and Ospreay being match of the week. I thought the Sammy, Braun, Penta, and Dom King of the Ring tournament match was the best, or the second best match of the week. I gave Gunther J the nod for number 3. Orton versus Knight, Hayes, and Black, I would give from SmackDown, I would give number 3. And then the women's from Raw, Roxanne, Rhea, Liv, and Kyrie would be my number 5 for the week. So pretty solid week of in-ring action. All of the King of the Ring tournament matches pretty much delivered. Even the ones that I did mention as possible matches of the night or stuff like that were all really good. I think I heard somebody online say that those matches are never going to be bad. There's just varying levels of degrees of good. But some of them were really good and others were just pretty good. But all were solid throughout. So, but a solid week of wrestling. We had what Dave Meltzer would call an all-timer between Swerve and Ospreay. But I thought it was a very solid match and a solid week of wrestling. And I look forward to coming back next week to talk about that week. So we'll see you next week.
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still hot, knock your shell off. My money stacked fat, plus I can't turn the swell off. The franchise doing big business, I live this, it's automatic. I win this, so you hear those horns, you finished. A soldier, and I stay under you fighting. Plus I'm storming on you chumps like I'm thunder and lightning. Ain't no way you breaking me, kid, I'm harder than nails. Plus I keep it on lock like I'm part of the jail. I'm slaughtering stale competition. I got the whole block wishing they could run with my division, but they gone fishing with no bait. Kid, your boy hold weight. I got my soul straight. I brush your mouth like Colgate. In any weather, I'm never better. Your boy's so hot, you never catch me in the next man's sweater. If they hate, let them hate. I drop your whole clan. Lay your ass down for the 3-second tan. Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now.
It's gon' be what it's gon' be. 5 pounds of courage, bloody base, 10 pants with a gold tee. It's a war dance, a victory step. A raw stance is a gift, and you insist it's my rep. John Cena trademark, y'all are so-so. And talk about the bread you make, but don't know the recipe for dough. Aiming guns in all your photos, that's a no-no. When this pop, your lip lock, your big talks are blatant no-so. See what happens when the ice age melt. It seems monetary status is not what matters, but it helps. I'm rocking Timepiece by Benny, if any. The same reason y'all could love me is the same reason y'all condemn me. A man's measured by the way that he thinks, not clothing lines, ice links, leather and minks. I spent 20 plus years seeking knowledge of self. So for now, Mark Fredka's living life for wealth.
Your time